I may have to join by phone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm on my phone right now.
No worries.
The camera's not working at my desk. So I think I may need to join by phone so you can see me.
No worries.
So hang
Whatever
on.
you think.
I'll be right back.
Okay. If any of you guys are joining, I'm just getting everything fiddled in. We're gonna have people on the pod today, which is pretty cool. So.
Hey,
Hello, Elise.
you see me in my office.
Nice.
Where
Hard day's work. I bet a lot of work's
Yep.
getting done.
What?
I bet a lot of work's getting done today because nothing's going on.
So much work is being done today.
Exactly.
Also have glasses on, which is weird because I've been having like eye contact issues. So
Fair enough.
my phone battery's already almost dead. Oh, and I don't have my charger. I've never looked at my phone so much in my life until today.
Scrambling to get all this stuff ready to go. Hold on. All right. Scrambling to get all this stuff ready to go.
Yep.
Let's get the link. I mean the thumbnail.
Yep.
Need to mute it. Ugh. Dan will be in here in 1 second.
Okay.
Just in the chat. Oh, that was Lisa. I get going in 1 second. Please, Alcaraz victory.
Yes. Who does he play?
He's playing Tsitsipas right now.
Okay.
Yep. Gonna get going in 1 sec. Just waiting for Dan. Thank you to you guys who are joining right now. Really appreciate it. This is a little bit of a weird time, but
an emergency pod calls for a weird time.
that's very correct. Yeah, so we'll give our thoughts for about 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll start having people on. Link to join the stream is in the bio. Any questions you have? I know there are a few people that want to get on here, so yeah. Where is Daniel? Daniel's overseas as well, so this will be interesting.
Where is he right now? Like what country?
He's in Denmark right now.
Ooh. Denmark is lovely.
I know.
I've been there. They also have like one of the, I think like the best restaurant in the world in Copenhagen.
Really?
Or supposedly, yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, looking forward to this for sure. A lot to talk about. A lot of things that need to be said.
Oh wait, it closed. Wow.
What?
The best restaurant in the world's best restaurant closed.
Oh, really?
Crazy. Yep.
Come on, Dan. Maybe Nick will make an appearance. I'm hoping Nick makes an appearance. The beloved Nick Pompey.
Beloved backup tracker. Yeah, Nick should make an appearance, I think.
I would agree. Well, we can start and Dan can just join in because I want to
Yep.
give my thoughts. I'll give my thoughts first and then we can get into it. So I'm gonna record it and then I'll send it to Jordan so Jordan can post it. But all right. Well, Dan is nowhere to be found, so we will wait for him. Oh, here he is. Dan,
How are we?
how are
What
we?
What a fucking day.
I know. What time is it where you are right now?
It is 8:35 p.m.
Where are you, Copenhagen?
Copenhagen, Denmark. The sun is still shining. It's very nice.
Beautiful.
Nice day out. I just kind of ran home from a bar, but
Nice. Perfect.
The bar will still be
That's-
open after you come.
Yes,
after-
that's true.
yes,
Right back to the
bar-
bar out there.
Yes, very
All
much
right.
so.
Let's get this started. I'm going to record it and then I'll send it to Jordan so we can post it. All right. We good?
Perfect.
All right. Welcome everyone to an emergency podcast, episode 91 of the Go Get That Pod. And this is quite a stunner. This morning, I drove home from someone's house at 7:00 in the morning, fell back asleep in my own bed and did not expect to wake up to what I did at 11. So I think everyone's shocked. No one saw it coming. Apparently not even the players saw it coming. This is unprecedented. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this in sport, let alone golf. This is something that some people said was inevitable, but if you had told me that someday the PGA Tour in name would not exist anymore, that would be something that is tough to believe. But here we are. There's so many unknowns right now. And at the end of the day, this could be a bigger shit show than the past year has been. So who knows? We really don't know whether this will be good, bad, in the middle for the game of golf, whether it will be, but at the end of the day, it's this is huge news. Like I think that the rest of the PGA Tour season will go pretty much the same, but like starting next year, I mean, we could see monumentous changes to the schedule.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, we were already going to. Oh, sorry, go Dan.
I was just gonna say, I think that's for me, one, I was stunned because I did not expect Monahan to give in any way because the hypocrisy that he appears to be giving off right now. That's probably not how you say it, but regardless, you guys get my point. Like he's going back on pretty much everything that he said about it, starting from a year ago.
Yeah.
It's amazing how it quite literally is a year. Bob, we were doing the Memorial preview and kind of stopped to talk about
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so it's a
it
year.
was the first live field. DJ went, that was the big name. And now the Memorial's over. Quite literally a year later, Live and the PGA Tour are a thing, sort of. Like I don't even know. We don't even really know what it looks like. We don't know what the schedule looks like. We know pretty much nothing, but it's such a massive day in golf because this is probably the last season of the PGA Tour. I think that's crazy.
No, yeah. I know that Elise has something to add, but I mean, it's just like, I know that I was texting in the chat with us and everyone was like, well, the name is the biggest thing they're concerned of. But like, I remember the year it used to be the European Tour. Now it's the DP World Tour, right? Like that change was something to get used to. But like, think about how much history the PGA Tour has just in its name. Like in 10 years, if Jordan Spieth wins the RBC Heritage, we're going to be calling it his hopefully like 28th GGA win. Like, think about that. That's
Professional
crazy.
golf league win. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's the PGA Tour is such an iconic staple for the sport. It's always been the alpha tour. And now there's so much unknown. Like, how is the team aspect going to be incorporated into all this? We don't really know, but at least I know you can give your thoughts. And yes, Elf in the room, Jordan is a little under the weather, so he's not able to join us today, as I'm sure he would love to be, but it is
Yeah.
really, so
What I was going to say was the schedule was already like up in the air for next year, but this like puts it even more up in the air. I mean, because they didn't have designated events figured out like still yet in terms of whether there was going to be a cut or not a cut. Oh wait, am I still on?
Yeah. We can hear you.
Cut or no cut for the the designated events and how many there were going to be, because obviously I think there was too many. There's too many this year in terms of designated events. Like, players were getting tired, and you also had you couldn't miss more than one, which seems like a lot in retrospect, given how many they are with the majors as well. So yeah, the schedule was always up in there, but this puts it even more up in the air. Is it going to be something more now along the lines of what was like rumored to be out there before, where you have like a like top league and of like a limited number of players and that aspect, and they're playing against each other, and that also has somewhat of a team aspect as well. I mean, Matthew Wolff, for instance, like left Smash GC, and there's a spot there. So who's filling that? There's also been like rumors that Nike was going to buy that. Yeah. I mean, there might be more credence to those rumors now that this merge has happened.
Yeah, it's just so shocking from Jay Monahan's perspective, the way he handled it, right? It's my biggest takeaway from this entire thing is the fact that these players must be pretty freaking pissed. You look at the way I don't think he could have handled it worse. The thoughts and the idea and his thought process to go through with it without telling many people it's something that he's going to regret for a long time and could end up leading to his downfall. I mean, who knows? Maybe I don't think he'll resign, but it depends. What is the player's response going to be? But you look at it, all these guys, they gave away 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, all the way up to
millions.
Tiger Woods probably
millions. Yeah.
Tiger Woods probably gave away close to $1 billion.
Yeah.
So you look at what they're probably feeling right now. They passed on that money out of loyalty to the tour, and they were told that this would never happen. And here we are today, and it's happened. This is a crazy day for the game of golf. It is. If I was a player on the PGA Tour who passed on that money, I would be fuming. Everyone who passed on that money thinking they were doing the right thing is now the loser in this situation.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree with that sentiment. And then people keep bringing up the money. And I think players will, that's something easy to point to. And as time goes on, they'll be like, darn, or, damn, I missed out on a couple $100 million, like in Hideki's case, whatever. But I think the anger now stems more from like just this lack of loyalty, this lack of trust, this sort of selling out of this tour that we were supposedly against. And I say we as like the PGA Tour players are saying this.
Yeah.
And that might change a little bit because who knows what the tours look like. What does this merge even mean? Like,
that's what's so confusing.
I don't understand.
I don't see a way that you could move forward in the game of golf having the LIV and PGA Tour be the same thing.
Yeah. So
there's really no, it's either an individual sport with like maybe 3 LIV events throughout the year. Maybe that's what they're looking at, but like then the team aspect's gone because the team aspect's supposed to be a season long race. Maybe they're cutting down on tournaments. Maybe they're doing like every 3 weeks another live event and only the guys on the teams are playing. I don't know. But like, I was expecting at some point the inevitability of live players coming back to the PGA Tour. I accepted that. I thought that was eventually going to happen. So I predicted that. I never saw in a million years them working together and forming the same tour.
Yeah.
Like
And the
forming a merging
PGA
tour.
Right. And the PGA Tour being the one to kind of submit almost, or just like accept that, because it always seemed like, obviously Live Golf had a lot of money. They had the support in that sense, but the PGA Tour had majority of the best players, majority of the sort of media
Ratings.
was on their side,
Yep.
ratings, all that stuff. And so for them to kind of dive under the Saudi fund, like kind of just go, just like, yeah, we're gonna accept kind of your offer, is crazy. Like to think about, not even a year ago, but just like a week ago. Like this was not a thought at all until today, until the news broke.
This was the most unexpected thing that could have happened today, in terms of you like.
Yeah, 100%.
Patrick Cantley and Xander Schauffele could have signed with Live this morning. It would have been more expected than this.
Yeah.
Like this was like the last thing that we expected, especially like in the middle of the season right now. Like you have to ask the question, does it have to do with Brooks winning the major a few weeks ago? Does it have to do with like other things that have been happening throughout the year? That the Live players have shown that they can compete at majors. So maybe that has a factor in it. I don't really know when they talked, like when did they sit down in London? When did they sit down in Venice? I don't know. I know that from Jay Monahan's point of view, this is something that he completely stabbed all these guys in the back. And it's almost like Jay Monahan did the same. He sold out the same way that he was telling everyone not to.
Right.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe it's just too much money. I understand that's a business, right? And I understand that but like that explanation has to be given. If he was to come out tomorrow and say, listen, this was a business decision and this is the only thing, like this was the best way for the tour.
The thing is, I mean,
he had
from all I've heard, like he had the opportunity before Live was even like created to make it
4 years ago.
go away. What?
Yeah. No, you're right. And I see a few people popping up in the waiting room, so we'll get to those people in a second. But I'm so blown away by how he handled it so poorly. And I think that an interesting like dynamic is the whole Greg Norman situation with like how he was kind of kept out of the loop. I wonder if he's just done. I wonder if the agreement that they came to was that Greg Norman could not be a part of this for this to work. So it will be interesting to see that aspect. So
I think
he's not listed in the
right.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating. And I wonder if Greg's just like, this is what I was trying to do the whole time. But I'm sure he kind of misses will miss the like power sort of that he had. I think to one of your earlier points, Bob, about like Monahan needs to explain shit. Like I think there's a players meeting.
There is today at 4.
And I'm sure there's going to be a lot coming out of that because players, of course, are going to be telling everybody what went on in that meeting because if Monahan could be like, oh, try and keep it in house. Like, no, nobody cares what Monahan thinks anymore. Probably.
I mean,
so we're going to find out a lot at 4. I think
they have their own players voicing the fact, like Wesley Bryant said that he can't trust the PGA Tour for a very long time. Like if you're losing the trust of your players, it's a catastrophic decision.
Players run tour. Yeah,
it's a catastrophic decision.
Unbelievable. And I hate to do this, but because I don't want to, I'm curious what Rory's role in all of this is.
I've been thinking about this in 2 ways when it comes to Rory. One, I have been anti-Rory since Live started. I think he's been too, and everyone knows that. I think he's been too, he's been a puppet, and I just think he was never really able to see the other side, but he kind of got screwed.
Yeah,
He took all of the bullets, and
unless he was
I really hope he knew about this, but I really hope he did not find out on Twitter. And I don't think he did. I think that him and probably Tiger and maybe a few more people knew about this beforehand. But if he found out on Twitter, that's something that
that's awful. Yeah, and I brought his name up because I thought maybe Rory was in on it a little bit,
maybe was.
I don't want to speculate like that because I think deep down, Rory, has kind of just been thrust. He's taken the torch of being the leader for the PGA Tour, and he's also kind of been thrust into that spotlight. And so I feel for him right now, but I also think that there's a chance he knew / signed off / that seems so opposite of Rory, the way he's been talking the last month.
Yeah, I can't.
Just previously, it seems far out there, but man,
I mean,
it's so crazy that
I thought about this.
That was possible if that happened.
I thought about this when I woke up, and this is my big conspiracy theory. I think that at the end of the day, we are in agreement that we think that the Saudis are doing this in a sports washing type of that's their goal.
Yeah, and to grow their business sort of.
So yeah. I'm thinking, what if this was their plan all along? What if they knew that the PGA Tour would never be able to compete with their money and that they would never be able to compete with their brand, and they knew that the best business decision was this and it was inevitable? So maybe that was their plan all along. And because I don't think you really can sports wash on LIV knowing that half the world's against you, right? Half the golf world is against you. Half of the world hates LIV, right? You can't really hate what's going to happen unless you stop watching golf. This is it.
Well, at a certain point, you can't. They weren't going to generate any money.
No,
they weren't generating
more profit now.
Right, and now they are. Now they can, generate more money because they will have the ratings and presumably and the sponsorships and things like that to get more money, because the way the LIV model was working is kind of it was unsustainable. It was kind of like Uber. They lose money every time they go out there. So that probably was their plan all along.
Yeah.
As for Rory, he did kind of a recent press conference. He didn't really want to talk about it as much anymore, which, some people I think I've seen, speculate that maybe that was the sign that he knew that this was coming. But if he didn't, that's, but in general, he was really fucked over by this.
Yeah. I'm in complete agreement there. I think that Rory got the short end of the stick here, and you look at who the winners are. I tweeted out how I think the way HV3 handled everything was this is best case scenario for him, right? I don't think he lost the respect of many people on tour. Whereas other people sort of burned bridges, and now he's here.
So besides Phil and maybe Taylor Gooch, who really burned a bridge?
I think all of them did
The European guys, Westwood.
I think they all did in a
Sergio,
even in a low key way. Everyone will always people in the locker. I don't think in the locker room. You saw Brooks and Rory. I don't think Brooks and Rory don't.
Yeah, and DJ. People love DJ.
Yeah. I think that, and also Taylor Gooch. Talk about do you see? He didn't even try and qualify for the U.S. Open.
Yep. Well, he said he wasn't going to though on Twitter.
Yeah, it's just
after he tried it. Yeah.
I have Nick in the waiting room.
Although I kind of like Gooch though because he's.
Yeah. I like Gooch because he's fun to watch. He's very good at golf, but
and he's a top 40, or he used to be a top 40 lock. So.
Yeah, he's kind of been just a dweeb recently with just every way he handles everything. But we have Nick in here, my trusty backup. I'd love to hear his thoughts on all this, considering he's been doing more tracking than me recently, and then we'll get Matt in here. But Yeah, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I want to hear what you guys think about all this, because at the end of the day, this is surprising for everyone. It's not just us. So, Nick, welcome, sir. How are we
Good.
doing on this fine Tuesday?
I'm good. I'm just chilling, watching the greatest tennis player of all time.
Right there.
And I'm just like on Twitter, just roaming,
There's
watching people just bug out.
No, it's amazing. I said this earlier in one of the chats we're in, but like, I feel like when I don't know shit, I go to Twitter to try and figure it out. Like Twitter doesn't know shit right now. Like,
no. And everything's about like literally everything in my feed is about this right now. Like I'm scrolling. I
And
can't
some of
find
the
a
news
single
are
thing that's
awesome.
not about Liv.
The Michael Scott tweet about like what was his paper company again? Whatever.
The Michael Scott
Paper Company.
Yeah. Over the it's like them buying out Dunder Mifflin. That's a good one. I think it's already overused, but like that's hilarious.
Yeah,
But
it's I can't believe that. I don't even know what I'm more blown away with, the decision or the way that he handled it. I think that both of them are so surprising.
He's just a thug.
Jay Monahan is he created a lot of enemies today. I feel like
he might be more hated than Phil now.
Is he public enemy number one?
He could be.
Yeah.
I mean, Phil, because I think Phil gained a lot of people back today because he was like, yeah, I told y'all, like Monahan sucks. That's what he's been saying, sort of. The PGA.
One thing about Spieth is that he's just like not on Twitter, so it's just like.
You think Spieth even knows? He has to know, but like
No, Spieth knows, but he's just like so like low key. He's just a low key guy.
I don't know how Spieth. I want to know how Spieth feels about this, but
he's probably not happy, obviously.
I don't.
Do you think? I don't think he's not happy about not taking the money though.
No, I don't think he cares about the money.
more
I
the
think.
trust.
Listen, like it's one thing for like Hideki, but like I don't think Rory and Spieth and JT are like they're never going to end up using all their money anyways. They're like that.
And
So,
these purses are about to be even bigger now, and in theory, right? Like we're about to see $50 million for.
We could see the PIF paying out all these guys who are mad to just
exactly.
Yeah.
Like we can see them paying them off for the troubles.
It's the PIP sponsored by the PIF. Like it could.
That's why I don't get it. Like about the money thing, I think they're just gonna get paid just as much, if anything.
Yeah, they
like,
might. Who knows? Maybe,
why would Rory not get the same as
maybe
Dustin
Rory
Johnson?
will get his $800 million that he was.
But probably not in that contract form, though. I think Rory could make a lot of money by playing well in golf tournaments, but I don't think he's going to get the money up front.
Yeah, but who's funding the golf
The other
tournaments?
thing is,
well, I think the Saudis are funding the PGA Tour now.
So at the same time, it's like you're just getting the money the same way. You just got to work harder for it, though.
Yeah, but like the funny thing is, all of the work that the PGA Tour put in this year to combat Live by doing designated events,
it's just gone.
the fall schedule gone.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I don't get.
I think the fall schedule is probably out the window because that's when they're going to start revamping this whole merge.
Well, yeah, Monahan did all this shit kind of last minute to try and create a tour that was worth staying on, and he was like, "Oh, look at all these changes, look at all this, look at all that," just to sell out. It's
so crazy because they put in for 8 months all this work to make the tour better. I think it's been better. I love the designated events, better leaderboards. Besides Kirk Kitayama, I think all of them, the winners, have been big names.
Kirk Kitayama could go to Rome, so it's not.
Kirk Kitayama could be. He's not going to Rome. Kirk Kitayama is not.
I don't know.
Probably not anymore now that.
No, it's not.
Probably now
there's zero chance.
It is.
So
that's another thing that you bring up. Like, is Ian Poulter going to be a Ryder Cup captain now? Like,
is Stenson going to be back?
Yeah, like that's a side of it that you have to look at because all of these people they're all under the same roof now. They're all Saudi sponsored. Can you?
And go ahead.
No, you finish.
I was just gonna say, like, CBS has been pretty open about not liking Live. NBC, same thing. Like, they haven't shown these guys in graphics. They haven't really talked about it too much.
Yeah.
Like, the Nance has poked a few jokes at some of the Live guys, and now they're just gonna cover. Like, I'm assuming CBS and NBC still have deals that are just gonna be buffed up because they're with they're still going to cover the PGA Tour, right?
I think
How Kraz is going fucking nuts.
I think
Like, would there be a world in which CBS and NBC say no, we're not doing this because the tour is now Saudi funded in this way? I don't think so. I think they just now get the bag because they say we cover the tour.
Put it on YouTube. Let's see every shot of every
yeah,
player.
I wonder if like there are a few things I was thinking about just in terms of like the product. Like, are there going to be tournaments that don't want to host anymore? Are there going to be sponsors
like,
that
what
want
are
to leave?
sponsors doing now? I mean, I don't know. They might. I think the sponsors probably make more money, but I wouldn't be shocked if there's some that's like, we don't want that money to come from where it's coming.
Jack Nicklaus has been pretty anti-live. Is Jack
So are
Nicklaus
they-
gonna be
they're
like,
re-
Well, they
Well,
don't
no,
really
Jack
need
Nicklaus-
sponsors. If they have
No,
so
no.
much money, they might not even need sponsors.
they might not need sponsors. What if
No.
like we're commercial free for the rest of like, is that a way that they can get the fans on their side? Like,
I
don't-
don't think it won't be commercial free. There's gonna be people that like there's companies that want money. Like they're
Yeah.
not like it's not just gonna like
yeah, I don't think they could go
Commercials and
fully
everything that
commercial free.
sponsors are like they are paying to set up the events, right? Like
Mhm.
TV commercials is paying for exposure. So yeah, I agree with Nick that there will probably be commercials, but in terms of like, is the Byron Nelson going to be like sponsored by like
Yeah,
AT&T? That's different. That's a different question.
I don't even know.
Another
The
thing is, are they
schedule is
gonna-
gonna change. Like there's
Yeah.
gonna be like
Yeah.
who knows if like the players is gonna be a thing anymore. Like it could be. But what if they
it's a
just
good-
I'd
it's a-
imagine it will be because
I'd imagine it will be too, but
tour
it's a
is
good thing to
still-
think. It's a good
but
thought.
it's a fair
Like,
question. Yeah.
what are the playoffs going to exist anymore? How are the playoffs going to
Well,
look
it's
now?
it's not a race for the oil or something like that.
a race
like-
for
like
the
we
oil
don't-
rig.
It's the Aramco Cup or something.
We don't really know, but like from a money standpoint, we don't. Are they going to be handling the money the way that they handled the money on Live? Because in Live they were handing money out, like they were losing
I don't
money.
think
They were
so.
not profiting,
I don't
right?
think-
So I would assume they'd have to manage their money a little better in this situation.
The other thing I think that might be somewhat plausible is that these tours remain separate, but like the players can rotate throughout them.
See, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, what if like Live becomes like a team thing for the top players in the
In
world,
the off season,
and
or
they
something.
play once every 4 weeks, and they take out tournaments like the RBC Canadian Open and like
Well,
the tournaments that just
The
don't, and you spread it
3M.
out.
they could
spread it
still
out.
have.
It would have
that
been
system.
nice if it was like an alliance, like not a merger, but a alliance.
Well, that,
Yeah, a
almost-
merger is
that
such a
might be what it
weird
is,
word.
though.
Like we don't even know.
Well, merger means you're combining. If you're an alliance, it means you would just let them play on one and then play on the other whenever they
Yeah,
want.
combining
Yeah.
is like that's like the last thing I expect to happen.
So
This is that.
that makes me think like kind of what you were saying, Bob. Like, well, there will be one live event every 4 or 5 weeks, and you have to. I think the other thing, one of the things people criticized live for was the qualifying process. My guess is now that there's like the Euro Tour, the PGA Tour, the Live Tour. And the goal is to like qualify through these events to play on the Live Tour to make a lot of money and play in these team events, maybe.
Right, that's like
That
that's
would
kind
be
of like the
really
Premier
unfortunate.
Golf League concept that No Laying Up talked about, like
That-
back before Live happened.
That
What
would
does
be
that-
really, really unfortunate, Dan. But I think that that's probably the most plausible thing that I can think of.
Right.
Like you have
Yeah.
how many
The
teams of
other-
4? 8 teams of 4. So what's that? 32
Well,
players.
54 divided by 4.
And what if the
No.
teams are of 6 and 2 people don't play, and you rotate in and rotate out to give people rest? Like who knows how the model's going to look? But I think at the end
Or
of
like
the day,
you qualify, like if you make the tour championship, you
I think
auto
the
qualify
question
for the Live League
that I want to
next
know is Jordan Spieth going to be a range goat?
year. No, you should
Hopefully.
be. Somebody said it like Shank
Golf Club.
Oh, God.
Okay,
Yeah.
But yeah, like you don't like is the live events now going to be Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, or is it going to be the same?
That's
Like,
so stupid.
like who knows?
I don't know.
So
My
I mean, I
guess
actually
is
don't
that-
You know,
mind the
Spieth should be
team
Spieth,
aspect.
Phil, Siwoo Kim. Who else is a wild ride? And their name should be like Wild Ride. because
No, that'd be
they're
funny.
such a
Yeah, Speed,
roller
Phil,
coaster.
Siwoo, like Tyrrell Hatton or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I think that I actually don't hate the team aspect. I don't hate the
I don't hate
team
it either.
aspect either.
I just want it to be like
take
real golf.
It will take a while to get into, but I don't hate the brand and the model, I guess. I think that if they were
I don't hate the guy.
if they were able to do it in a way, but it's again, it's tough. If you're going to commit to having like a team events with individual like leaderboards too, and you're going to commit to that, and it's going to be like team golf, you really can't incorporate that once every 4 weeks and then have 3 tournaments of stroke play. Like that's just.
Right. And I would really not want to see Jay Spieth on the CW. Like,
I don't think that's what it will be.
You
I do
know-
not think it will be that.
okay,
Not with the
I
merger,
think-
yeah.
CBS and NBC.
they'll take the money, 100%. That's
Oh,
my
yeah.
guess. Or
Yeah.
somebody, if it's not them, somebody. will.
Maybe we go back to Fox. I wouldn't be surprised me if
Yeah.
one of them drops out. Go back to Fox. Fox has lost a lot. They lost a lot of MLB rights recently, right? So they're looking for something to pick up. I
Please,
believe.
Fox. Please, Fox.
Fox would be fun.
Oh, Fox
actually.
is so good. Fox was by far the best.
They did it.
broadcaster.
They brought what'd they bring? Shot tracer, and they brought I think maybe drone footage as well, and the ball hitting the bottom of the cup.
That mic was
And
so sick.
A chilling
They did some
leaderboard.
things that were a little weird, but like they progressed it a lot.
I think Joe Buck is very good for golf too.
Big
I think just
same.
the way he
Shane Bacon
doesn't.
was really good too. They
Yep.
had Shane Bacon on
Yep.
Fox.
They just had a good overall broadcast. I know it got a lot of hate, but I loved it. Joe
But
Buck gets a
they-
lot of unnecessary
They
hate.
didn't get
Joe
any more
Buck's
'cause of
chills.
COVID.
Yeah.
Fox, because the US Open got pushed to September, and Fox said we're not covering that because of football. That's what happened. Okay,
So
that sucks.
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see. The other thing is like, I mean, there's so many other things, right, that we just don't know. But are you guys like excited, sort of? I think
I am
that
nervous.
It's awesome, but I just
I am
thought-
nervous. It's great for us. It's great for people who are doing a podcast. I mean, this is great
Yeah,
content,
but also like,
and I love talking about it. It's conspiracy theory central. Like it's there's so many unknowns.
Yeah, but to be able to see like all the best players, granted, Liv has like what, 5 guys that I really want to see, but to see them back in normal-ish events, like, is fun. But are they even normal anymore? I don't know.
All right,
Like,
Ryan asked an interesting question. He said, "Did Liv pay to sponsor the tour, or did the Saudi people pay to sponsor the tour, or did they pay to join the tour? What do we think? Do we think that?"
They bought a share in the tour.
I think that's what it is. Do you think it will be 50-50?
Oh my god.
It's minority, I think. So my guess is that means less than 50%.
Alcaraz is going ridiculous right now.
He
But
just
I
broke
think
it.
that
Yeah,
that's
no.
it's still a insane amount of money.
It
And they'll have a lot of power as well, obviously.
again, I saw a tweet and it encapsulated perfectly. This was inevitable in the sense that the PGA Tour was never going to be able to keep up with their money, and the Live Golf was never going to be able to keep up with the PGA Tour's brand. So you look at combining the two, it makes complete sense in a general landscape. But there's so many little things going on, all the shit that's happened this past year, that makes this so confusing. And I'm nervous. I said I was nervous. This could go down a very dangerous path. Like this could end up being golf that is not entertaining to watch anymore. Who knows?
That's true.
Because I do know that, like, I say I'm invested in the team aspect, but long term, will I get bored of watching Jordan Spieth win team events for 5 years? I might.
Yeah. I don't
I
wanna
think
see-
Will
the
this-
more
Will
But
this
it might be
be
different if it's like the same, if they have an actual like winner and the team aspect is part of it, but they actually have a
will
actual
this
winner.
make the majors that much more big?
Well, I was just gonna ask.
Will it
or
be
I was just-
54 holes? Will it be like, who knows?
Talk about
54
the
holes at
majors.
majors. The majors
No,
aren't.
no, I'm talking about
Majors-
normal events.
Oh.
What were you saying,
think-
Dan?
I think the majors are gonna be fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause now the majors aren't the only spot where all the guys will be there. But I think it'll just be the most normal thing, like the PGA Tour was like for years, it was just the PGA Tour. But now the majors are, and I guess the majors had existed throughout then as well. But now they're just the like the most normal part of golf that we have, and they're 4 weeks a year. And I think that's gonna make them like, you're gonna remember things from previous majors, the history, is just gonna be there more so than like Bobby talked about the PGA Tour's history is not gonna be the same anymore. It's gonna be a different name. So that's gonna be fascinating. I also think like the majors could have smaller purses than every event because I don't think because they're not PGA Tour. Right? So we have the funding.
Right.
I don't
yeah.
think the majors will
Which is
ever.
funny.
I don't think the majors will ever take a seat back. The majors are such a huge legacy thing. I don't think the majors will. I don't think anyone really looks at that.
No, but I just think it'll be funny that they'll be the 4 most prestigious events, and their purses
are going to be astronomically smaller.
could be smaller. Yeah, probably will be smaller. And I think that's
I
funny.
really hope the PGA has like the initiative over Live. Like I hope it's more PGA. Like the more the PGA has control, the better. Because I don't like
in terms of
Liv's
like the
ideas as
scheduling
much.
or the
Just like-
format.
Yeah, like I mean, I do wish they go like a little further away from like all the TPC like shitty courses and like
I
do
agree
more-
with that. I agree with
same
that.
here.
I think they should get to like those like not Trump National, but like a lot of those like country clubs that are really nice. Like it would be cool to see them play those.
Yeah, I agree. Like Valderrama, like I'd love to see them incorporate like Valderrama. Maybe have the PGA Tour get a little more international.
I mean,
That'd be
yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be a
more
big-
international would be.
That's got to be a big thing because
My guess is that
there's probably going to be a PGA Tour event in Saudi Arabia. Like that's
more
probably going to happen.
prominent Asian swing would be a hope of mine. I think it'd be cool to see a lot of the guys play the Irish Scottish Open stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, like less fucking sorry. Less TPC deer runs and more like fucking
Valderramas.
yeah, like those
Yeah, like
nice
courses that
country
like
clubs.
I'll be interested.
I can't stand the TPC courses, dude. They're
Yeah, I
terrible.
agree. I'm
Yep.
with you. I'm with you on that.
Well, we'll keep Craig Ranch.
Yeah, like that's the only one
Yeah,
that
we
like
keep
actually is
Ranch.
funny.
Yeah, we'll keep it in late March, maybe. It'll take this. That'll be the new spot of the players.
River
actually.
Highlands. Keep that one.
Yeah,
We could go to Billerica Country Club as well.
we could. Someone on in the chat said that the problem with teams is that people like in other sports associate with like the teams around them. So that would be tough to get like on board with one team. And I think I understand that. You know, it's like
Well, you would be the team of your favorite player, I imagine. Like, right? Like if Jordan goes to
the Rage Goats.
The
yeah,
Shank-
Rain Goat, that's
Shank
going to be your
Golf
favorite
Club.
team.
Bro, imagine it was like Jordan, Spieth, like Ricky, and like Justin Thomas, and then like someone else. Like
Then we have to
Smiley
root for Justin
Kaufman.
Thomas every week.
yeah, Smiley, like Smiley makes his way back.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And somebody brought this up. The US Open is just getting hosed. Like the only talk last year at the US Open was about Live, and people were like, Kepka, are you going to Live? Like DJ, what's Live like? That kind of stuff. And now at the US Open in 2 weeks, it's gonna be, what's this merger like? What, how much did you hear about it? What do you think of it? Type of stuff. And we'll probably know more in 2 weeks. But the US Open's got to be like, you kidding me? Like, why can't this wait till the FedEx Cup playoffs? Because nobody cares about those. But I don't know.
It's
It's
crazy times, man. Because I remember we had the emergency pod, like literally this time of year last year,
Oh, it was 1 year ago. Yeah.
and the Rangers lost that game on the live stream, which is fantastic.
That was great. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. We can get this, we can get Matthew in here. He's been waiting for a bit, get his thoughts. But I am a little nervous to see how bad this gets in terms of a relationship between the PGA Tour players and the
Monahan.
top of the chain.
Yeah.
Because you look at the top right now. The top right now is Monahan and the right-hand man to the Saudi Crown Prince. Those
Mhm.
aren't necessarily the two people that all the PGA Tour players love the most right now, right?
Well, I think they don't like Monahan more. 'Cause he's I think
Probably.
they could maybe figure out a way to create a relationship with the other guy. I think at this point Monahan like is toast. And the fact that he's not going to resign, but he is probably the most hated man in golf.
He is.
Because none of the live guys like him, and none of the tour guys like him.
Yeah, I
Who likes Jay Monahan right now? Does his wife even like him? These are
for someone
these are
who
the hard.
you'd assume is as smart as Jay Monahan, right? He's the commissioner of one of the biggest sporting tours in the world, right? He has to be smart, right? But like, who in his corner told him that the decision to go without telling people was the right one?
Yeah, that's mind-boggling.
I just,
to that.
I don't even know how you could. I don't even know how that even crept into your brain. I think that the first thing you have to be thinking is, okay,
How do I tell these guys that this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It cannot be on social media. It can't. That is.
What if it turns out to be a success though? Like, what if it actually works?
Hopefully it will.
I think it could.
I'm saying, obviously, hopefully it will. But will people like change their mind about him, or was it always like fuck Jay Monahan?
That doesn't change what he did though. Like,
no,
even
oh
if
yeah, he
it's
definitely
success,
took
that
it the wrong
doesn't change
way.
what he
But
did.
if it ends up working, then why would we blame him? Because I'm assuming if he talked to people in the tour, they would probably say like, "What are you talking about?" Like, no.
It's not. I'd say it's not about blaming him as much as it'd be about not trusting him, and that's a different like.
So
it's more that you just don't like what he did.
He's gambling. He's gambling.
Yeah, but he didn't. The fact that he didn't explain it to the people that supported him.
Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense.
Not like him.
So John Munro, apologies if I said that wrong. He brought up NASCAR, and you know how the NASCAR team aspect works, where it's like brands.
Yeah,
like it's like car dealerships. What if that is?
That'd be interesting.
What if it's still individual events, but Nike and Strixon are playing against each other, and Under Armour. What if we get like a little Mito, Mav McNeely, and Jay Spieth team? Oh god,
well, they'd be toast.
Doesn't Formula One have teams
Mav
too?
McNeely.
No, am I way off on that?
What'd you say?
Doesn't Formula One also have like a team aspect of
Yeah,
it
but
as
Formula
well?
One was built on that model, like that. Formula One was built by the Saudis, like that. Like they, it's not really comparable.
I don't watch Formula One, as you can tell.
Yeah, I don't either. But
the only person I know is Max Verstappen.
yeah, everyone knows he's apparently stud.
My battery's dying, by the way, so if I cut out, that's why. But I have another phone I could join on as well.
No worries.
What
or two phones?
What does a success look like for this tour? Like what would make this successful?
Everyone's happy, I guess. I don't know.
Fans like it. The players.
I think you need.
I think
obviously higher quality venues.
Okay.
I mean, come on. That's got to be one of the things that could help it.
I'd agree. And with that,
I think less commercials and better coverage would definitely go a long way to getting people on your side.
Yeah, better coverage for sure, dude. I can't. Maybe like more featured groups, more.
Shot link on every course. I saw someone on Twitter say that.
Yeah.
I think that was Ron Cloth actually.
You know what? Yeah, I'm sick of this. Like, at this point, with the amount of money that they're gonna have, if they don't have ShotLink everywhere, it's embarrassing.
Well, they probably won't go to the places. Well, actually, no, it's not true. They'll go more international now, so they should be able to bring ShotLink around.
Yeah, the truck.
Well, they need to be. Yeah, if they go to like.
Get a
Spyglass Hill, Monterey Peninsula,
and we need
Pebble. Right? They only have ShotLink on Pebble Beach.
Well, they only have one truck. The way they do ShotLink is out of like the back of a truck.
That's
and then they have all the guys on the course like marking them. So I don't know, man.
I mean, how one kind of last thought before I have to go here, but like, when do you think we know all this stuff?
I think we're gonna find out like as we go throughout the rest of the summer.
Yeah, but like when do you think we have a firm grasp on what it's gonna look like next year? Like, is that late August, or is that in 2 weeks, or is that Sunday?
Late August, I would say, more likely than in 2 weeks.
Okay.
There's-
When does the live season end?
I don't know. One thing. So Dan Rapport just tweeted this. I give him props because he's been getting a lot of good scoops this morning. He said he asked a bunch of PGA Tour players, how will Jay Monahan survive this? And everyone said that he won't or he can't. So I don't see him surviving it.
Did you repeat that?
Dan Rappaport asked a bunch of PGA players how Jay Monahan would survive this, and they all said that he won't and he can't.
won't. Yeah, I think Todd Lewis said he spoke to a bunch of guys and they were, I don't remember the words, but it was like backstabbed and disgusted and something else. So
Bill becomes the CEO. I'm joking. Maybe.
Yeah. Man. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Crazy day. Hopefully other people have some excellent opinions as well.
Yeah, we'll
Wait,
get
are
Matthew
you
in here.
you're in Denmark, right?
Yeah.
Enjoy the
Living
bar,
How is
Dan.
that? How is
Thank
that? Oh wait,
It's
it's like
awesome.
8:20, right?
it.
Or no,
9:20.
later, 9:20.
Denmark is beautiful. But
It is awesome. Yeah. It's been amazing. It hasn't rained in like 3 weeks. so-
Unfortunately, Denmark has thugs like Holger Rune in their country.
I would agree. He's a child. Is he Denmark? I thought he was. No, yeah, he's Denmark. Yeah.
Peace
See you,
out.
Dan. We'll get Matt in here real quick. Nick, you're welcome to stay aboard for the remainder. Yeah, we'll get Matt in here. I just accepted him.
Matt Amos.
Matt, how's it going, brother?
What's up? What's up? How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Of course.
Awesome. Yeah, dude, this is crazy. I was sitting at work, work for a software company, sitting at work, and all of a sudden, 10 a.m., this thing just pops up and goes, hey, guess what? The two biggest golf tours in the world are merging together.
Yeah.
Like, unbelievable. And you guys have broken it down super awesome. I was looking at a couple things on Twitter that I wanted to bring up. The withdrawals, those I don't know if you guys have already started talking about WDs that came in. Apologies if I was late to that, but I think Sam Ryder, Charlie Hoffman, I know those are kind of not the biggest names in the world.
Yeah,
but
I think I
Ben
did see
Griffin,
Sam Reiser was
Joseph
a little
Bramlett.
interested. I know Charlie Hoffman has some health issues, but I the rest of them.
yeah, Ben Griffin, Charlie Hoffman,
Yeah.
Davis Thompson, just kind of smaller end guys. But still, I'd be very curious to see what sort of waterfall comes from that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that we could see a lot. So there's the US Open and Travelers. Those are the next 3 weeks, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll see many people sitting out the Travelers, but could we
the US
see?
Open. No one's
Could,
gonna go.
yeah, I
US
mean the
Open.
US Open. Could we see a little mini boycott at the Travelers? It's possible. Wouldn't be ideal considering I'm going, but I think that do we see players sit out events? Do we see players who, because like we just
It would have to be like a mass, like
it would
like
have
rebellion.
to be, they'd have to get a bunch of
Mass, yeah.
people, but like
a lot of these guys, like they're fighting for their tour cards.
yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
and if
but
they
we
would
just talked about
withdrew-
what Dan Rappaport tweeted about how the players don't believe Jay Monahan can survive this. Well, what's the leverage they have? The leverage they have is sitting out events, right? Taking away
Right.
the product. So I think the withdrawals is an interesting point. Do you know if all those withdrawals have came since the news broke?
So I saw the PGA Tour comms tweeted like their obviously big tweet that they had, and then they did the RBC. What do you call it? Yeah, exactly. And then underneath,
wow.
they kept. You see that they kept replying to the tweet with like all those
Yeah.
withdrawals and who was coming in for them. So it's. I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
These are all. There's like eight of them.
There's a lot,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, some of them they withdrew because they qualified for the US Open,
true.
but not
Mhm.
all. I don't think all of them.
Fair, but
Yeah.
like you saw Matt Fitz skip his media session. I'm sure he doesn't want.
Yeah.
I was just about to bring that up. Rory's supposed
Yeah.
to speak. I'm pretty sure tomorrow at RBC. Like,
Oh, I
Well,
gotta. Hopefully, he
what is
talks.
that going to entail? I saw
Mhm.
someone tweet that, and
Well,
I
is he
wrote
even
on
going to
my notes.
speak? I mean, he may not speak.
No, because like, yeah, you look at players like Spieth, and I don't think Rory does either, but like players who don't run their own social media accounts.
I think Rory would be silly not
It'll
to
be a
speak.
while. I feel like he has to, right?
He
Like he
does.
has to.
He's
get
like the spokesperson of the PGA. Like he's been the guy that stood up.
But,
So I
yeah.
mean, you
Even
gotta
though he
say
tried
He
to
something.
doesn't
back
have
out
to.
of that.
He doesn't
Yeah.
have any.
Well, that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. So Matt, you bring out how he tried to back out of it. Like over the last like month, I wonder how much he knew because his tone has started to shift. His tone started to shift recently. Being like, okay, yeah, I do think Brooks Koepka should be on the Ryder Cup team, right? Like his tone used to be just everything anti-live, and since then it's sort of gotten a little further away from that. So I wonder if maybe he knew something like this was coming, and he sort of had to sort of just back off his
Yeah.
stance.
Like at the PGA, remember after Brooks won, he was like, "Hey, Roy, I'll give you a call later." Like, are you guys friends now? Like, it's just very, very interesting to see how.
Yeah, Ryan brings up a good point in the chat. He says, "Is a boycott worth a $3 million fine?" I mean, that's a good point. Like, this is their job, and there's no other tour now. There's no other tour to play on. The DP World Tour is in this too, so it's not like they can go, even though it's less money. I mean, they could probably live off it. They can't go running to the DP World Tour. So, like, if Jay Monahan sits down and just plays the dictator card and is like, "Listen, you're losing your tour card, your tour card if you boycott." Like, is that something people will be willing to do? Now, do they still have the leverage? Yeah, because if everyone boycotts, and he can't take away everyone's tour card. But
well, if guys like Sam Ryder are going to be the
product.
ones boycotting, you're not going to move anywhere.
That's a
Like
good
it would have
point.
to
That's
be
a good
like
point.
the Speeds, the Rorys. They would have to step up.
And
but
I
haven't
think
really
that at the
seen
end of the
that.
day, it comes down to Rory because
Yeah.
I think the players will follow Rory, assuming that Rory had nothing to do with.
Well, I know Spieth will not be the first person to act, as
Spieth
he's
never is.
the most low-key person of all time.
We got less information out of him about Liv than we did probably.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
I think
until
we'll learn a
the
lot.
only time we even like got, I mean, it took rumors on Twitter to even get like a response that he was like not going to live.
yeah,
Someone said, "Will any big names sit out the U.S. Open in protest?" They will not. That has nothing to do with the tour.
no, yeah, that would,
and
that would
that's
make no
just too big
sense.
of an event.
Yeah.
No,
Like
Travelers
people are
like
chasing
RBC,
slams
yes.
and
Travelers, different story. Could definitely
RBC
week-
Canadian.
this
I
weekend-
can't wait to go. I'm interested to see how people will, like, I just like the chatter
Yeah.
that maybe I'll hear. I'm supposed to go to the Monday practice round. Loki want to sit in on like some, like, just
Ooh.
listen to like just like the
With
chatter
people.
that people are talking about, like with their caddies. Like what are they saying? Because
Mhm.
all these guys are, all the conversations that they're having, like with people, is at the golf course today. Like they found out today. So imagine how many people are just talking today at the RBC about what's going on. So, man,
The question is, who's going to be the fly on the wall in that meeting here in about 33
yeah,
minutes?
that's I would give anything to be in that room. That is, he's going to be a man under fire in that room. I don't know, are people even going to go? I would
think you
assume they
have to
would,
go.
but
Why wouldn't you? I mean, it's got to be like it's the biggest information you're going to get so far.
yeah.
Plus,
Yeah.
you can just chirp him.
I'm just everything in my feed right now is what has Phil said? Has Phil said anything besides like good
He's
day?
just trolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phil on Twitter is quite a beauty. Bryson said that it needed to happen. Kevin
Taylor Gooch with the tweet with the cocktail in his hand. Just
And live cards.
Gooch is such a loser.
good lord.
Someone said, I think Kyle Porter said Tiger needs to get addicted to Twitter, and someone said, nope, it's not a painkiller. Like,
Jesus.
There are a lot of good memes going around about this stuff. The
Twitter's great.
I wonder if Nick Adams has tweeted about the
Adams. I have to check.
He follows me on Twitter.
That's just an alpha wham.
Let's see.
He just
Oh,
said
yeah.
I'd opt for President Trump over Ben Hogan.
Not surprising. Was expecting something more there. BKT tweet about it, how he That doesn't surprise
He
me.
said President Trump was right about the future of golf. The president never.
That was
misses.
pretty funny that he called it on whatever that social media website is.
Do you consider
it's-
yourself an alpha? Is water wet?
It's the interview that Jay Monahan did with Jim Nance last year at
Oh my God.
the RBC Canadian Open. That is just such a terrible look for him. When he was like, "Would you apologize for do you ever have to apologize for being on the PGA Tour?" Like that's just backfiring in his face.
That was the first thing I thought of.
And honestly, legal implications might have been something about it. Like what if like Jay Monahan's lawyer sat down with him and said, "Listen, you can't win these suits. You're going to lose. So this is your best case scenario." And maybe that happened, but at that point,
Like,
Jay Monahan owes them an explanation. He owes the players an explanation. So
You're right. It's the lack of communication that's so glaring with the players that build your product. You decide to not
Yeah.
communicate with them. The most important decision of the tour's existence, in my opinion, like that needs to be communicated.
Mhm.
yeah,
Somebody asked Chat GPT what the name of the new golf league should be, and it said Golf Fusion, the Grand Slam League.
What?
I don't even know what the name. I'm just sad, man. I'm sad that the PGA Tour is not
I
going to be.
think it's got to be something like relatively close to PGA, but not PGA.
Yeah.
Like
If
WGA.
anyone in the chat wants to ask any rapid fire questions before we wrap this up, I'd be happy to break down some great insight from the chat today. Really, really appreciate. Thanks to Sports Central for that comment. We actually took gambling for the week off for the podcast, which is good because I've been on a absolute cold streak and I am about to have to take the SAT again if I continue on that that road. So new challenge. It's yeah.
I have a few.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's hard to think about betting right now. Anyway, with all the news.
Yeah, that's a good
But
point.
this is good news for bettors. But
Is it
Yeah, it's
Scam
nice to
Young-
have everyone back.
Scam Young's
Yeah.
week?
Scam Young's week.
Most Mickey Mouse win of all time would be Scam Young's first win.
That would be something.
There's a lot of asterisks. Would it? I mean, if there's a
Yeah.
lot of withdrawals, would it come with a huge asterisk?
Apparently,
man.
someone changed the sign in the locker room today in Canada where it says player meeting 4 p.m. They wrote live directly above player meeting. Monday Q info just tweeted that. Jeez.
Let me see that.
They just tweeted it a second ago.
H.
This is a good tweet from Zephyr Melton. New logo just dropped. Live under par. The LIV. Because I mean, instead of the live under par.
Yeah, I mean,
Gosh.
dude, I can't believe the most shocking thing to me is the whole brand rechange. The fact that they're going away with like the PGA Tour brand and they're just creating like the GGA or the PGL or whatever they're gonna call it. It's just
It's not even confirmed. I think that's just like implied. Like
Yeah,
if
I
it
guess
stays the
that's true.
PGA Tour, then Liv just loses their brand and they're just buying into PGA. So it's like
You would think they doesn't make any sense why they wouldn't keep that brand. They're going to have to come up with a new
I know.
acronym anyways. Like if they could, like, and that's just a
Yep.
nightmare.
Yeah. I think that the legacy thing will be very interesting because at the end of the day, if we're looking back on this in 10 years, this was a 1 year thing. This was a 1 year. The Live Tour was existing for 1 year, literally
I
1
know.
year. Like, cause it's over now, basically. I know they're going to keep playing, but like it was from Memorial to RBC. It's a year and a week. That's when Live was big, right? In 10 years, we're going to be looking back on this. Are people going to care about who went to Live? Is Henrik Stenson going to get a Ryder Cup captain down the road? Is
Exactly.
Ian Poulter going to get a Ryder Cup captain down the road? Is DJ going to get a captain's pick this year? Like, it's a bunch of things that now they're going to be allowed in the President's Cup too. Like, it's just
like a lot of these guys pretty much sold like their name to go to Live and like took on that chance and now they just get it right back. Like it's like Cam Smith basically sold his soul and now he like comes back. It's like
One
but I
thing
don't mind having those high
Um,
quality like players on tour. Like that makes it even better.
For sure.
Yeah, you got it.
And while they're on live, like for the remainder of this year, I know they said they were going to operate separately, but for the purpose of majors, and if they're all this one big family now, and I know majors are separate, I get that, but like OWGR points, like correct me if I'm wrong here, but like I know live doesn't, obviously, if you win an event, you don't get any
Right,
sort of
correct.
OWGR points. Would that maybe change in the short term because they
Well,
want
now
these people to come to the majors?
Now they are getting OWGR points. I don't know.
They are. Oh, okay. Wow.
Because it's going to be the same. It's going to be one tour. They're not going to get. I don't think they'll get official World Golf Ranking points this year.
Okay.
Like they're gonna have to next year. They can't just not give OWGR points to this tour.
Right.
Tour.
Yeah.
This is golf now. Like unless you want the only official World Golf Ranking tour to be the Asian tour or like the Sunshine Tour, like this is what you are dealing with. So I don't know, man. I think we're gonna have to have a lot of podcasts coming up.
Mhm.
I think it will be a 20-minute. I think on every podcast for the next 6 weeks, there's going to be a 20-minute segment that we're going to have to talk about, like what's going on with what's the new developments. And I do have to go in a second, but if anyone's got any more that they'd like to add, thank you for coming on, Matt. Appreciate it. This was a nice little emergency podcast. Good hour of discussion. Nice to see Dan back in the house. And yeah, I think we're good. Thank you guys for joining. It was a blast. I know we really didn't talk about the memorial, but I think we'll probably do a podcast like maybe Thursday and like drop it Friday just to recap the memorial, because that was a good week for Mr. Spieth. That was a good week. It was
an underrated week.
He needs to get back on the putting green grind a little bit more. But if he can putt, it definitely gave me some hopes for Mr. Country Club.
He was slamming that driver.
Yeah, the driver was fantastic all week. So yeah, we'll talk about that in the meeting. But again, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Nick, for coming on.
Yeah,
thank
appreciate
you, Dan. Appreciate you guys, and see you next time. Peace.